alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Just wanted to announce that I just found out that Brother Riyad, right here, his uncle passed away on Saturday in Alabama. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So please remember him in your dua. I think his name was Muhammad Akhras, Brother Muhammad Akhras. May Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive him and grant him mercy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala illuminate his grave. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make his grave vast and make it a garden from the gardens of paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him the highest levels of Jannah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla compensate his family for their loss. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them patience and sabrun jameel. Allahumma aghfir lahu warhamhu wa'afihi wa'afu anhu وأكرم نزله ووسع مدخله واغسله بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقه من الذنوب والخطايا كما نقيت الثوب الأبيض من الدنس اللهم أبدله دارا خيرا من داره وأهلا خيرا من أهله وألحقه بالصالحين وأدخله جناتك جنات النعيم بغير حساب يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. We're reading in the chapter of sincerity, Bab al-Ikhlas, and we are on hadith number 4. قال وعن أبي عبد الله جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال كنا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في غزاة فقال إن بالمدينة لرجالا ما سرتم مسيرا ولا قطعتم واديا إلا كانوا معكم حبسهم المرض وفي رواية إلا شركوكم في الأجر رواه مسلم. ورواه البخاري عن أنس رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رجعنا من غزوة تبوك مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال إن أقواما خلفنا بالمدينة ما سلكنا شعبا ولا واديا إلا وهم معنا حبسهم العذر. On the authority of Abu Abdullah Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, he said that we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in an expedition, and he said that indeed there are men in Medina that have a share in your reward. Any path that you have taken, any valley that you have traveled upon, they have been with you. They were prevented from joining you physically because of their illness. And in another riwayah, he said that they have a share in the reward that you have. And the hadith is narrated by Muslim, and al-Bukhari narrates on the authority of Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, who said that we were returning from the battle of Tabuk with the Prophet ﷺ, and he said that there are people who we have left behind us in Medina. They have been with us. Every valley that we have traveled on, every mountain that we have crossed, they have been with us. They were prevented from joining us because of a legitimate excuse. First, I have a question. Imam al-Nawawi here narrates the hadith first from Sahih Muslim, and then he narrates a slightly different version of the same hadith from Bukhari. So this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim, and usually when he narrates a hadith from Bukhari and Muslim, he says muttafaqun alayh. Muttafaqun alayh, meaning agreed upon. But he didn't say that here. He didn't say muttafaqun alayh. Why not? Anyone?
The source is different.
The source is different? What do you mean the source is different? Huh? The narrator. Yes, that's correct. because the narrator is different. Because the hadith of Bukhari is narrated by Anas radiallahu anhu, and the hadith of Muslim is narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu. So because the source, as the brother said, or the narrator, as the brother said, because the source or the narrator is different, they don't say muttafaqun alayh. The term muttafaqun alayh strictly is used when Bukhari and Muslim narrate the same hadith from the same sahabi, from the same companion. As for when there are two different companions narrating the same hadith, and they're found in Bukhari and Muslim, the term muttafaqun alayh is not used to indicate that there are two different companions who have narrated this hadith. One's version is found in one book, the other's version is found in the other book. And this shows the precision that our ulama have used in the terminology that they have been using. The hadith scholars are known for their precision, that every term that they use is extremely precise and is different from another term. So usually a hadith like this, which is narrated by two companions, and one's version is found in Bukhari and another version is found in Muslim, they don't use the term muttafaqun alayh, they use a different term for that. What is that term? Anybody knows? They say akhrajahu shaykhan. Akhrajahu shaykhan. That this hadith is related by the two shaykhs. The two shaykhs being who? Who are the two shaykhs? Bukhari and Muslim. Bukhari and Muslim. Now in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ is teaching the Sahaba, and he's teaching us that sometimes there's a group of people who are doing an act of ibadah, who are doing an act of obedience. And there's another group of people who would like to participate in that same activity, in that same action, but they're not able to because they're ill, because they're not capable for whatever reason. The Prophet ﷺ is teaching us that if the person has the desire and the intention to participate, but they physically cannot do that, that Allah Azza wa Jal, out of His mercy and compassion, will reward them for their intention. Will reward them for their intention. However, as the ulama point out, that the reward is not the same. The one who does the act obviously has the reward of a good intention as well as having performed the action. As for those who wish that they could be there but they can't, they have the reward of the intention, but they do not have the reward of the action. And that's why, if you remember, in the other hadith, where a group of poor people came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, Ya Rasulullah, the rich people have gotten all the reward because they pray like we pray and they fast like we fast and they give charity, and we're not able to do that. So the Prophet ﷺ didn't tell them that you have the same reward as them because you want to do that. No. He taught them something else to make up for that reward. He taught them a certain dhikr, right, to do. But the point is that they share in the reward of the intention. However, there's another scenario where we actually get rewarded for the action even though we don't perform the action. There's a scenario where we may be rewarded for an action even though we don't perform the action. We get the reward of doing the action itself. Does anybody know that? That scenario. Where we get rewarded for doing something even though we don't do it. That scenario is when we have a habit of doing something. When we have a habit of doing something good. And then on one occasion, we are prevented from doing that action because of an illness or because of some obstacle that comes in the way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy, He writes it for us as if we did the action. So for example, somebody who has a habit of performing, let's say, Salatul Jama'ah, Salatul Isha in Jama'ah. Every day they come and perform Isha in Jama'ah in the masjid. But then one day they're too ill to go to the masjid, so they have to pray at home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that person the reward of coming and praying in Jama'ah, because they would have done so were it not for the obstacle that came in the way. Someone has a habit of getting up for Salatul Tahajjud, but one night they oversleep and they wake up at Fajr time. They get the reward of performing Salatul Tahajjud even though they didn't actually do that. Someone has a habit of fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, but then on one Thursday they're not able to fast because of something that happens. Allah Azza wa Jalla, out of His mercy, will record for them that this person actually fasted on that Thursday, because were it not for that obstacle, the person would have done that. This is a tremendous mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He rewards people for things that they actually never did, because of the intention, because the niyyah is there, because the intention is there, brothers and sisters. So even if you think that you may not be able to do something good, at least have a desire to do that. Have a desire to do that so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you for that desire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all intentions that are pure and sincerely for Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Just one more announcement, inshallah ta'ala, as you might have seen the poster on the door. Inshallah, tomorrow night we're starting a new series, Friday night series. It'll be a 5-part series, inshallah ta'ala, on the theme of Hajj, journey of a lifetime. And tomorrow night will be the first part, in which we will talk about a history of the Kaaba. A history of the Kaaba. That will be tomorrow between Maghrib and Isha, inshallah ta'ala. Part 2 will be about the spirit of Hajj. Part 3 will be about the history of the Prophet's masjid, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Part 4 will be about visiting Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And part 5 will be about Eid al-Adha, because that will be the Friday right before Eid al-Adha, inshallah ta'ala. So please take note of that, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it of benefit. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.